Hello students, welcome back once again. Today we shall discuss about periodic trends in properties of elements. First of all, let us discuss about atomic radius. The size of the atom is determined by the boundaries of the valence electrons. As we go down a column, atomic radius increases. As we move down, electrons are filled into orbitals that are further away from the nucleus. That is, less attraction will be there from nucleus to the outermost electrons. Look here children, here you can see that in angstrom units the size increases as we go down the group from lithium to sodium, sodium to potassium, potassium to rubidium, and then rubidium to cesium and francium. So here the atomic size keep on increasing from top to bottom. As we go across a period, atomic radius decreases. As we move from left to right, electrons are put into the same orbital, but more number of electrons, at the same time protons number is also increasing. So when the number of protons increases and it is in the same orbital itself, then nuclear power increases. So because of that, more attraction will be there and size reduces. As you see, generally the atomic size increases, and in periods generally atomic size decreases. Children, if you look at in the period, let us take a second period, the atomic radius keep on decreasing, as you can see, because the size decreases because of the increase in the nuclear charge, and because of that more attraction is there and size of the atom reduced. Next we shall see atomic radii per picometer across the periods. Here if you see period 2, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Lithium having 152, beryllium 111, boron 88, carbon 77, nitrogen 74, oxygen 66, fluorine 64, and sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine. Here if you look at 186 to 160, then to 143. As across the periods, the atomic radii per picometer keep on decreasing. Now let's see the atomic radii per pm. Pm means a picometer down a family. That is lithium, potassium, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. If you look at 152 increases to 186, then to 231, then rubidium 244, cesium it is 262. And in case of fluorine, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine, if you see 64 to 99, then 114, then 133, then 140. What you will understand from here is down the group atomic radius increases. Next we have ionic radius. The removal of an electron from an atom results in the formation of a cation. Gain of an electron leads to an anion. The ionic radii can be estimated by measuring the distances between cations and anions in the ionic crystals. Metals lose electrons, which means more protons than electrons, that is, there is more attraction. So the ionic radius will be smaller as compared to the neutral atomic radius. Non-metals gain electrons, which means more electrons than protons, that is less attraction. So ionic radius will be normally higher as compared to neutral atomic radius. Some atoms and ions which contain the same number of electrons are called isoelectronic species. Like examples are O2 minus, F minus, Na positive, Mg2 positive have the same number of electrons. Okay, so these species which are having same number of electrons are called isoelectronic species. Now if you look at the ionic sizes, you can see that in case of cations, ions are actually smaller as compared to the neutral atoms, and in case of anions, ionic size is much more bigger. Ionic size is much more greater than the neutral elements. Cations are smaller than their parent atoms. The outermost electron is removed and repulsions are reduced. The cation with the greater positive charge will have a smaller radius because of the greater attraction of electrons to the nucleus. Anion with greater negative charge will have a larger radius. As you see in the figure here, comparing with the normal atom, that is the neutral atom, when you compare with the ions, you will find that cationic species have a smaller size as compared to the neutral atoms. Anions are larger than their parent atoms. Electrons are added and repulsions are increased. Next, let us study about covalent radius. What is covalent radius? Covalent radius is a measure of the size of an atom that forms part of one covalent bond. Next, we shall look at what is van der Waals radius. As you see in the figure, van der Waals radius means it is a half the distance between the center of two adjacent molecules which are closest to each other. What is van der Waals radius? Half the distance between the centers of two adjacent molecules which are closest to each other. So when you take two different molecules, you can see in the figure from the center of two different molecular structures, what is the half the distance between the center of two adjacent molecules which are closest to each other. And covalent radius is the measure of size of an atom that forms a part of a covalent bond. Next, we shall look at what is ionization enthalpy. The quantitative measure of the tendency of an element to lose electron is given by its ionization enthalpy. It is the amount of energy required to remove an electron from the ground state of a gaseous atom or ion. First ionization energy is that the energy required to remove first electron, and second ionization energy is that energy required to remove second electron. That is, suppose in case of magnesium and all, magnesium will become Mg2 positive, right? So in order to lose Mg2 positive, all of a sudden it will not lose both electrons. First it will lose one electron and later it will lose its second one. So the second ionization energy is the energy required to remove the second electron. The second ionization enthalpy will be higher than the first ionization enthalpy because it is more difficult to remove an electron from a positively charged ion than from a neutral atom. As you go down the group, ionization energy decreases. As you go from top to bottom, atomic size is increasing. So what happens? Less attraction will be there. So easier to remove an electron. Because of that, ionization energy decreases down the group. As you go across the period, ionization energy increases. As you go left to right, atomic size is decreasing because of more attraction, so more difficult to remove an electron. So ionization energy will increase in a period. Now let us see some factors influence the ionization potential. One is atomic radius, another one is nuclear charge, then we have screening effect, extent of penetration of orbitals of valence electrons, and completely filled or half-filled suborbitals. These arrow marks represents the trend in the ionization energy. Next we shall discuss about electron gain enthalpy. When an electron is added to a neutral atom, say let us take an example, X is an atom, that is a neutral gaseous atom. To convert it into a negatively charged ion, the enthalpy change accompanying the process is defined as electron gain enthalpy. Here, X is an isolated gaseous atom or an element, receives an electron and it becomes a X minus ion. Depending on the element, the process of adding an electron to the atom can be either endothermic or exothermic. The electron gain enthalpy becomes more negative with increase in the atomic number across a period. Next we have electronegativity, a qualitative measure of the ability of an atom in a chemical compound to attract shared electrons to itself is called electronegativity. Simple words I will say, the ability to attract the shared pair of electron in case of a compound like hydrogen chloride, that is HCl. Okay, now chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen, as you know. So chlorine will have the tendency to pull that shared electron towards itself, isn't it? So that phenomena we call it as electronegativity.
When two different atoms in a molecule are bonded together by a covalent bond, the electron pair forming the bond is not shared equally by both the atoms. In other words, the shared pair of electrons do not lie in the middle of the molecules but shift towards the atom having greater electron affinity. The tendency of an atom to attract electrons to itself when combined in a compound is called electronegativity. For example, in the molecule of hydrogen chloride, electron pair is attracted more towards chlorine. Thus, chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen. The value of electronegativity depends upon the ionization potential and electron affinity of the atom. In a polar covalent bond, the shared pair of electrons is attracted by one of the atoms, giving partial positive and negative charges to the two atoms. Small atoms attract electrons more than the large ones and are therefore more electronegative. Low electronegativity is the characteristic of metals and high electronegativity is the characteristic of non-metals. Electronegativity increases in going from left to right across the period because atomic size decreases from left to right. In a group, atomic size increases, hence electronegativity decreases.
Students, it is important to note that Pauling has developed a way in which if you know the electronegativity values, we are able to easily identify which element is having more electronegativity as compared to the other element in a covalently bonded atom. So here if you look at the Pauling scale values of fluorine is highest, and we can say that fluorine is the most electronegative element, followed by oxygen, and nitrogen and chlorine are equal. They are at the third positions, and cesium is least. Electronegativity increases from left to right, as you have already learned. For representative elements S and P block, electronegativity decreases as you go down the group. By looking at the different colors, children, you are able to identify that which element is more electronegative and which element is least electronegative. Kindly learn the values of these electronegativities so that you will be able to identify which element is more electronegative and which element is less electronegative. Now let's have a quick look into the periodic trends of elements in the periodic table. Atomic radius increases down the group, whereas atomic radius decreases in periods. Ionization enthalpy increases in periods, whereas the ionization enthalpy decreases in groups. Electron gain enthalpy increases in periods, and electron gain enthalpy decreases down the group. Electronegativity decreases in groups, and electronegativity increases in periods. Non-metallic character increases in periods, whereas metallic character decreases in periods. So children, by looking at these arrows, we are able to explain in short how periodic trends of elements takes place in a periodic table. Okay, I hope this is understood to all of you. Learn the periodic table well and learn their features. This is a very easy and interesting chapter. Go through the textbook as well as the question answers. We will have a class test of chapter 3 next class. Thank you and have a nice day.